Hey guys, SC button me up here with a short Elle guide. So I'm just going to show you my ability. So my number 1 ability, I've got Killing Field here, increases damage by up to 4 as the range becomes shorter, so close yard more damage. On my number 2, so on the combat reflexes, I've got a third charge going on there. No mod here for free, so I can fit on all my other stuff that I need to do. And on my lurker drone, I have the width by 30%. That really helps sort of capture some extra damage opportunities in most of the games, I believe. And then obviously on the Oblivion shell, your ultimate, I have ignore cover, which is a default one. So this is the one I'm running at the moment. I find it works best for me. So I've got second wind, obviously get some heals, shift for the teleport, and the shields give Elle a bit of extra survivability. Although as a firepower freelancer, she actually has 150 health, which is a massive health pool for someone who can output so much damage basically. So just going to jump into the game and yeah, just give you some sort of hints and tips on how to play Elle really effectively, or at least half decently. Any sort of advice for myself as well, I'm always willing to take on and improve. So yeah, any advice on Elle, please drop me a comment in YouTube, or you can reach me on Twitter at SC Button Me Up, and I'm happy to chat about Atlas Reactor as long as you can. So I'm just going to run over the abilities just while the sort of opening round, if you will, go. So your ability number 1 is your Plasma Volley. This is your standard one. It's a Blast Phase ability. It's going to do 25 damage, basically, at short range. 29 with the mod I've added. And then, obviously, as the range gets bigger, the damage goes down and the spread goes down as well. But she can be really, really effective at sort of doing lots of group damage and some decent long range as well. So my second ability, which again I've modded, so it's 3 charges instead of 2. Basically, what it will do is it will dash a square, so 1 square all around you in any direction, and then it will shoot for 25 direct damage as well, which is quite a lot again. So this is why I put the mod on for 3 charges, because she doesn't have a long range dash ability. She only has these little short ranges, but if you're clever with them, they can be extremely effective, and she's going to get damage out each and every turn with them as well, which is just, yeah, she's just really phenomenal at outputting damage on every single opportunity. So your third ability is Overcharge. So basically, what this will do, your next attack will deal an additional 10 direct damage. So what I usually do is, if I expect them to line up where I can hit multiple targets, I would pop the Overcharge drone the turn before, or of course if I'm going to use my ultimate, it actually affects your ultimate as well. So instead of doing 40 damage, your ultimate will do 50 damage, and more likely than not, your ultimate is going to hit 2 to 3 targets, so it's an extra 20 or 30 damage on top of your standard base as well, which is just a phenomenal ability. So number 4, Lurker Drone. So you just see me use it. So basically, what it does is it puts the marker on the floor. So again, you can see that in the sort of dotted line just next to my character. So anyone that enters there, I can tap Lurker Drone, my 4 ability, and it will shoot for 20 damage, hitting everything in that path as well. Obviously, it is stealthed invisible, so you can't quite see where the pathing is. You know when Elle's used it if you're paying attention, though. So yeah. And finally, Oblivion Shell is just a monstrous ability. It covers so much of the battlefield, and it will knock them back, and it will knock yourself back as well. So it fires you into generally a safer position most of the time, and it also knocks them back, stuns them, and stops them from moving, as with anything else. And it does 40 damage to everything it hits. And again, if you hit your third ability, so if you hit your overcharge, it'll do 50 damage to everyone. So just some general hits and tips with Elle is, whenever you can avoid damage, do it. I tend to use my number 2 ability, so the combat reflexes, to dodge damage. As you can see here, you're allowed 1 square either side, and most of the time As long as you're not dealing with sort of AoE freelancers, you can dodge a lot of damage with them and still output damage as well, which is obviously the important bit of Elle.
I could take on an army!
I've got a better angle on that.
So as you can see, the other Elle is using the drone there to do some damage onto me, and obviously using the rolling shot to get some damage onto Rask as well. But as you can see, I dodged Nyx's shot there by using my combat reflexes, and you'll see the effectiveness of that. If you can just use that to kind of dodge, 2 or 3 attacks a game, it's very, very good. I mean, that's practically a health bar if you can dodge 2. So again, what I'm going to use here is combat reflexes to make sure I don't stand in the same spot, number 1. Number 2, it's going to get me behind cover, and number 3, I can still output damage. So that's where the beauty of Elle comes in. She can really sort of put pressure on in all circumstances. You should be able to output, at least 25 damage per round as well, especially if she's got Might on. That just really, really, really boosts her damage because she's got such big AoEs, and because her firing is so versatile, so it can be, as long range as Blackburn, or it can have like a huge blasting arc, like some of the other freelancers that focus on AoE damage as well. So if I hadn't have got behind that using combat reflexes, I would be dead right now. So there's a nice bit of power for you. Although I'm very low health, I got way too deep, way too quick. So even though Elle does have a very large health pool, she is not a tank. She is not a tank by any means. She doesn't really have any sort of damage absorption or anything like that. Now, if Nyx is smart, he will aim for that health. I'm not sure if he can get it. I think the scenery is in its way. But if he's anything sort of intelligent, then yeah. The reason I chose the medium distance instead of the invisibility in the short distance is, again, Elle is vulnerable to AoE freelancers, anyone that can sort of hit in a wide enough area to sort of cover that square route. So I need to be a little bit unpredictable. If they think I'm going to combat roll and sort of use an AoE spell when in fact I'm teleporting a long distance, they're going to miss. So it's kind of that extra trick in the bag, if you will, that extra little bit of survivability, the little bit of sort of unexpectedness that comes with that. So as you can see here, the versatility on Elle's gun is massive. So it is a short range AoE or even a long range AoE. I mean, that covers 4 squares at its longest range there. So that's pretty massive, and it only reduces the damage slightly. I think every sort of tick you get, and I think you get a maximum of 5 ticks, it rolls the damage down by 1. So it's never going to do less than sort of 20-21 damage, which is massive at that sort of range. I mean, it's not as good as Blackburns or Lockwoods or anything like that, but considering the versatility and the way you can use that, I think that's very, very respectable damage. And you'll see Elle come into her own when she just sort of gets involved. She's in the middle of the fight and she can just let loose a round or 2. That's when she really, really puts the pressure on. So even though I've got 3 charges, it's going to run out here. I'm 99% sure I'm going to die, so I'm just going to set up my lurker drone to basically cover the mid, so I can still get some damage out if the opportunity arises. But I'm not really counting on living here. Suren might be able to help me, but if Nyx decides to ult for whatever reason, we're pretty dead. But we'll see. We'll see. You never know. You never know what players are thinking. So nice little heal there by Suren, and obviously I get my heal for 55. Again, Nyx's ult can do damage if they put Might on, but it doesn't look like he's going to. No, it's just a standard 34 damage. Rask goes down in the top there though, which is unfortunate. But not before he gets a little bit of damage off on their Elle. So I managed to survive, but again, Nyx knows where I'm going to be, so I've got to either sort of bite the bullet here or maybe take a combat roll. I think taking a combat roll, I might be able to dodge his damage, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here.
No place
So
for
again, my lurker drone set up, so I can fire that off if anyone was to go in the mid. But you can see why I hold on to 3 charges of combat reflexes.
blink and you'll miss me.
Yeah, so Siren gets a nice jump to Blackburn in the middle there, the Terminator Blackburn. I think Nyx is going to miss. Yep. So that's that's the beauty of the combat reflexes. So yeah, you can move that 1 square, and sometimes that makes all the difference. But I think my luck's up now. I think that's it. There's no one in range to heal me. Nyx's got a free shot off. I might be able to heal for it, but I don't think I can. So I think I'm just gonna accept my fate and
Bringing order
try and
to
get some
chaos.
damage off where I can.
Look alive, then look dead. Oh, you'll have the end you seek.
What a letdown.
Yeah, so nowhere near the sort of single target
Blood pumping.
damage that Lockwood and Blackburn can put out. But as I said, if you can get Elle into a half decent position where she can hit multiples, then you can seriously do damage. I mean, if you get an overcharge with your ults, you can potentially do 200 damage to the team, so 4 lots of 50, essentially, which is just a massive amount. Plus the knockback screws up all their movement and leaves them in generally vulnerable positions. As well as if you can get might granted, plus your overcharge, plus an ult, you can do some serious damage. So you're looking at nearly 60 plus damage on an ult per person. And hopefully, if I get a chance to use it, you'll see the devastation that it can cause. So yeah, with Elle, positioning is key. I wouldn't say I'm the greatest at positioning. However, I have found with Elle, as long as you can get it somewhat correct, you can put out some serious damage.
My target is clear.
So yeah, I'm pretty confident this is going to be an absolute ult fest. So there's some serious damage coming down here. Looks like Rask teleported there. Siren gets a kill on Elle, so that's nice. And yeah, they're all sort of starting to group up a little bit, which is good. Zuki's probably going to get put an ult down now. So that's my ult. So that's the range that you can see on there is absolutely massive. But generally, you want to make sure you're getting value out of that. So you want to make sure that you hit sort of 2, ideally 3, or best 4, obviously, but never waste it on one person unless it's going to be, a game-changing decision.
Nothing opens a mind quite like a plasma gun.
So yeah, even at that range, I can get off 26 damage due to the mod of an extra 4 damage I put on. So I decided to hang tight there. Again, I don't want to use my ult here because I'm only going to hit one person, essentially, so you do not want to do that. And make sure that when you do fire, you cover all the points you need to, or make sure that you draw your line back enough that you get the extra damage. That 1 extra damage can actually change the situation. So yeah, Zuki's only going to hit Rask with her ult, which is really good. And because of the spread on my gun, I actually do hit Blackburn even though he rolled, which is good. So Rask dishing out there. Still not a great position for the ult. I really don't want to use it on one person. It's on, that much health. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my my lurker drone here to cover any potential escape routes or sort of attack routes in. So if he does manage to escape or teleport here, my drone might be able to help him. So as you can see, Elle just used her overcharge, which means that she's more than likely going to plan to use her ult next round. So really want to make sure that we are not either in her range, which is hard to do because the range is absolutely massive, or that we are behind some sort of cover to block the shot, essentially.
Five turns remaining.
So I'm at the point now where I really want to use my ult because it's obviously getting late onto the game, but I don't want to waste it on one person. So I think I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to combat roll. Out of range here, I think. Now let's use the ult. Because I think someone's hiding in that right-hand vent as well, so I should be able to hit them. I'm going to take the damage on that nuke coming down though.
I cannot be stopped!
So yeah, I get to hit. I'm pretty confident I can hit Zuki now as well, which is really, really good. So at least I get some sort of value out of this. But you'll see the damage that that this can do.
Destroy the target.
So Zuki's ult just completely misses everyone.
If you want to play, let's
So yeah, as you've seen, my damage was the 40s and their Elle's ult was the 50s because she had the overcharge. So as you can see, the overcharge does add a lot of damage. I mean, you're looking at potential of 40 damage, in most situations 30 damage across the team. So now we just have to literally play the waiting game. So we're 4 kills to 3 with 3 turns remaining. I'm the lowest health, so I need to stay alive basically. All I've got is my heal and 2 combat reflexes.
3, 2, 1, fire!
But I do have a Suren close by, so that's fine. Zuki, I pressed ult as well, so I could tell that Zuki has no escapes whatsoever. Elle is also now knocked to the floor. I'm on 21 HP. Thankfully for me though, combat reflexes can go over scenery. Yeah, as long as we can get a kill on Zuki, which has no escapes, and the Elle, which has no escapes, we should be absolutely fine. So yeah, I think that's a victory, which is fantastic. But yeah, just to summarise, guys, Elle, fantastic damage dealer, good health pool, good abilities and mods, and can be long range, short range. Absolutely devastating if she can get into a group of people and get 1 or 2 shots off. She can do some serious damage, and she has the ability to self buff as well for a flat 10 damage increase, which is generally quite massive. So Elle goes down, that's our 5th kill. Zuki goes down for the 6th, and that's GG. So if you have enjoyed the guide, please feel free to like, subscribe, follow. If you've got any tips for me, as I said, I'm a bit of a noob myself, so yeah, feel free to comment or contact me on Twitter, or even add me in game, guys, as well. So my tag is thecos7560. You can reach me on. I will put that in the description. So I hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and follow. Cheers, guys.